also for my birthday, I didn't really do much. I just celebrated with my family. I celebrated my husband, my daughter, and I just went out to eat. I went swimming. I enjoyed my life the way I wanted to enjoy it, in a very peaceful, calm way. What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to talk to you about why my 33rd birthday was so important to me. And I did share on my social media platforms that this was an important birthday, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Okay, so my 33rd birthday was basically the beginning of a new chapter for me. Back in college, I went to college like 2008. Back in college, I ended up getting into some Christian organizations. And in college was like the first time as a Christian that I actually learned to be Christian. Well, really learned to serve as a Christian. I had given my life to God back when I was like a kid, probably like 6, 7, 8 years old. I remember being in church and hearing the pastor talk about God and all these things about heaven, and I remember talking to myself like, I can't miss out on that. And so I went down to the altar to give my life to God. But up until college, I never did anything with it. I would just go to church. So in college, I met a man who helped me get into ministry, weekly Bible studies, and I would serve on college and in a local church. And after these things happened, I basically graduated from college and I just went back home. And when I went back home, I fell into the same patterns that I was in before I actually went off to college and learned how to do ministry. And I wasn't reading my Bible. I wasn't really praying every day. I was just living. And I ended up living and getting to a very slippery slope of actually people pleasing, to where I would go anywhere. People would call me. People wanted me to go to a restaurant. Hey, let's go out to eat. Okay, I'm coming. I'll come hang out. That kind of stuff. I would just do whatever people wanted me to do. If people wanted me to hang out, go hang out. People wanted me to take a trip, I'd take a trip. If people asked me to, just watch certain things or go watch a movie I didn't want to see, then I would go do those things. But the problem I'm trying to get to you, what I'm trying to tell you is that I was not fully happy. I was not happy having no purpose in my life. I was not happy not knowing who I was. I was not happy not enjoying the things that I wanted to do and not just doing everything that people want me to do. I just wrote that the problem with people pleasing is that when you're people pleasing, you're basically running down a river. You're just floating on a floating on a raft in a river. And you're just going here and there, and you have no clue what you're doing, what your purpose is, and who you are. And I fell into that trap of not knowing who I am, not having any purpose, not having a schedule for my life, not having a end goal for my life, just mindlessly running around doing stuff. And that didn't calm the trauma I had. That didn't calm the nature within me, the unresolved things that I needed to fix to be whole for myself. And so I had a traumatic event that happened to me about 3 years ago. And that event put my whole life into perspective. Who I am, who I hang around, the company I keep, the things that I do in my daily life that actually matter. And from that moment on, I had a talk with God. I had a talk with God about changing my life and making my life whole and complete, making me happy to be here and on this earth. And I have no problem sharing this testimony because I know people struggle. I know there are people today who have questions about their life. Why are they here? Who they are? What is their purpose? Why are they not fulfilled? I'm here to tell you that I was having those questions and those concerns. And I went to God and I said, God, if you help me through this, I'm yours. Whatever you ask me to do, whoever you want me to be, just give me something, God. Give me a better life than the life I have now. And he's done it. God has literally came to me. He's given me purpose. He sent people my way to help me. He's told me things about who I am and who I should be and what I should be doing. God has filled in all the blanks for me. And that is why this birthday is so special. Because in the last 2-3 years since that moment, I have been walking with God. I have been reading my Bible. I have been praying. I have been serving. I have been bringing the gospel to people, because I know in my life, Jesus is the only thing that makes a difference. He's the only thing that has been able to change my life radically over and over and over. Even though I was a Christian all those years, from when I was 6, 7, 8 years old, I always prayed to God when I was in trouble. I always knew that he was the way for help. I always knew that God was there for me no matter what the situation is. And so I want to encourage you today that if you're in that situation, if you're in that state and you're wondering, God, how can my life be better? God, who am I? God, why does my life seem this way? I'm asking you to talk with God about it and ask him what he can do to help you. Ask him to help you. Ask him to change you. Ask him to change your environment, whatever the situation may be. Ask God for help. And just like he did me, just like he changed my life, just like he has radically shifted my life, he can do the same thing for you. And I just want to do this video to encourage somebody, because this birthday was important to me, because I know now that I'm finally on the right track. When I used to feel less than, I hated my birthdays. I didn't want to do birthdays. I felt like I was not where I wanted to be. I didn't have the career I wanted. I didn't have, the money I wanted to make. I didn't have any of that. But my perspective was wrong. My environment was wrong. And I needed the right things, the right people, the right places, the right circumstances to change my life. But I had to go to God and yield all the things I had going on so he can replace them and give me better things. So if this is you, I'm praying for you. And I pray that this video helps you. And I pray that you get on the right track. And God can help you get on the right track. I would hate for anybody to feel a certain way about their life and feel like they don't like their life, or they don't like the environment they're in. They don't like, the circumstances they're in. So I'm praying for everybody who watches this video. But I just want to give you hope that God can turn it around. He can change it. He can give you joy. He can give you salvation. And he can change your situation. If you look at the news, you'll see there are so many people who are suicidal, so many people who are suffering from depression, anxiety, so many people suffering from mental health issues. And the only way we can solve those issues is to change the climate that we're living in. And these things are not natural, they're spiritual things. And once you know spiritually what you're working with, once you know what you're up against, then you can start to fix it. But the only one who can tell you about these things spiritually is Jesus. So I pray for everybody who watches this video. I pray that you're well, that you're whole. And if you are having some of these issues, if you are suffering from something, I pray that God will meet you where you're at. He will take you in, he will love you, and he will show you the way to go. I hope you guys have a good day.